Respect the place that you call home. Respect the land in which you roam. Respect the country you were born. Let's take it back. Respect reform. Hold on to freedom, hold on to hope. Don't give them slack, don't give them rope. Don't walk and hang your head in shame. Be proud, stand tall, and we will reign.
Yep, good evening. As you can see, Rob's not here tonight, so I've got the gadgets and all the little tools in the background. So if I make a mistake, just bear with me. I've got briefed just now. It's been a bit of a drama. One of the cameras went down. We've got a guest tonight, which we'll introduce in a minute. This is episode 30. I can't believe it. 30 times we've been on. We've had dramas left, right and centre, but we managed to pull most of them off. Nat is not here right now. I'm hoping that he will come in ad hoc. So if he walks across the camera, bear with us. Right. What's the show about tonight? It's about the community, accountability and listening. That's what it's all about. So, Jacqueline, thank you for turning tonight.
You're welcome. Good evening, everyone.
And we'll introduce you to Chris.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
And Nat will be here when he's ready.
He's probably battling with a horse.
Yeah, battling with a horse. Okay, contact numbers. If you want to get hold of us, the contact number is 07355 429 205. I've just been told that Nat's not coming, so we'll just roll without Nat. Thanks, Nat, for letting me know. Yeah, short of it, but it doesn't matter. I hope he's all right. Tony's not here tonight because Tony is away on holiday. I hope you're doing and enjoying yourself. I've been trying to cover his emails, but I average quite a lot of emails a day. So if you've sent Tony an email, I will try and cover for him, but he will catch up over the weekend. So what are we looking at now? Local issues we're going to be talking about. So we're going to hand you over to Jacqueline first, and she's going to discuss what's been going on in her area.
Well, it's more potholes for my Newton Abbot area. Potholes and traffic diversions. Same old story, same battles. Lots of emails coming in from unhappy people. And also regarding the speed camera on the Ashburton Road. So, yeah, I'm pretty busy as much as, getting time to myself, it would be a luxury. Even as I say, phone calls at 10:30 at night, just about, trying to sort out potholes. So, very busy with council meetings. We had a council meeting the other day, didn't we? Teams meeting. But we'll go into that later. But yes, very busy.
Well, let's do it now. Let's go into it now. Is myth busting? Was it myth busting they called it?
Yeah,
myth.
highways myth busting.
Jacqueline, if you explain.
Okay, so this was a Teams meeting set up by Devon County Council Highways. We were going to find out all what was myths and what was the truth about highways. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go that way. There was a lot of councillors there that had an awful lot to say, including myself, with regards to the amount of problems that we're getting and the fact that we really need to sort this out. And so we shook some trees at County Hall in this meeting. Didn't really get much myth-busting done. So, yeah, Neil, how did you find it?
Yeah, it was interesting, actually. And a lot of councillors were not happy at all. And I've sent another load of questions off this morning regarding the hot box. The hot box is a vehicle that goes around. It's under the control of Devon County Council, and they go around permanently fixing hose. To that end, we were told that we've got roughly £82 million to fix hose. So I threw it back on the letter I did, or the email I'd done this morning. Since I've been a councillor, since I've been reporting these potholes and the crossing, the lines in Sainsbury's, where all the yellow markings, I don't think any pothole has been done. And I've been in place, would you say, 7, 8 months? But to that end, I've invited the top boys out to come down to Openton so we could walk around, have a chat and see if we can resolve some of these issues regarding the roads. Jacqueline.
Yeah, I just can't understand how that can come out in a meeting the other day that we've got so much money for highways. And yet when I ring and ask for things to be done, it's, oh, well, we just haven't got the money. We've got to be careful and allocate jobs as, priority. Well, come on, it's one thing or the other. Either we've got the money or we haven't got the money. Let's get these roads sorted out. It's the least our public expect us to be doing. So let's get on with the job.
Okay, to that end, let's talk about what I've been doing in my area. A lovely lady sent me a WhatsApp message yesterday, or a Facebook message, stating that 2 foxes in Barton Fields have been found, or in Pince's Gardens has been found dead. This happened last year as well. I'm making no allegations about anybody doing something, but foxes just don't die unless they're poisoned. So just be very careful. I'm an animal lover, dog lover, so just be careful. Don't take your dogs off the lead for a minute. I've got a company printing 12 posters, which will be put out over the next, tomorrow, on all the gates, warning everybody. I did have one person say that watch your mouth about the allotments. I never said anything about the allotments, and he said, you've lost my vote. Well, I'll tell you, young man, I don't care about your vote. I'd rather not lose a dog or an animal, and I'd rather lose your vote. So thank you for keeping me in the loop. What else has been going on? There's a lot of things going on in the background where we're trying to I've got to publish the report for Cheveley Road. I've walked it with Toby on the 12th. I've been a bit late reporting that because I've been putting up about the cathedral. You heard about the cathedral, Jackie?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
Really sad.
Very sad. Well, I want to take you back, Neil, to what you were saying about the foxes being found in your area. Now, when I came out of the army, I retrained. I was a veterinary nurse. I'm an advocate and great lover of animals. And I've actually seen, with my time as a veterinary nurse, I've seen animals that have been poisoned. We all know that, people using slug baits and things like that is a real hazard. It seems to run in spurts where, there are areas that do put down poisons, and, whether it's rat poison, or that, it's the most horrific way to see an animal suffer and die. So please, even if your dogs are on leads, make sure they're not, out too extended if you use extendable leads, because dogs can pick up food so quickly and it's down their throat before you realise that they've eaten it. Next thing is you're at the vets with a very, very expensive bill, and maybe you've lost your animal at the end of it. So, please be careful.
Thank you, Jackie. At that end, I've wrote to Exeter City Council this morning asking them to maybe do some extra patrolling, and I've informed the police regarding these events. So just take note on that. Chris, we're going to bring you in a bit because we don't want to leave you on the side there. Chris, I presume you like animals?
Yep. I've got a dog. I'd be pretty upset if someone poisoned him. So.
Yeah, so would I. So would I.
It's not a good thing to happen, is it?
Okay, I just want to bring him in. Right, local issues and democracy. We're going to talk about the protest last week, right, and how the money was found for the police. And what's this say about priorities? Remember, I'm quite... I wanted elections to go ahead. There's 13 elections in Exeter, or there was. I'm looking at democracy, fairness, and public trust. Right, I'm going to play this. Some people say I shouldn't, but I think I will. I just love it. And we'll have a chat about this once it's finished.
Today, Saturday the 17th, again there's another far-right march here in Exeter. Exeter is for everyone. Exeter Labour Party is right behind supporting those people who are anti-fascist and do not want to see this in our city. We are committed to making sure our city is there for everybody. Exeter is for everyone.
Great to be here, gathering at the event, seeing so many people turn out to show that Exeter is indeed a very welcoming place where everybody is welcome and everybody can feel included. And that's delighted to be here at the third march and coming together of community in response to the far right marching in Exeter. I'm really pleased that so many groups of people, different communities are here sharing our belief that Exeter is a diverse place for everyone.
Oh, that's me. I'm going to pat back to me. Far right, fascists. I just do not think political parties should be doing these protests. Not one Reform councillor went to any of that, and I don't want to be associated with it. But what I find is disgusting, they use the word far right, anti-fascist, far right. Well, I'm going to call you lot far left if you want to do that. Far left, socialists, all right? You are socialists. You don't want elections in May. And I worked out, or somebody worked out, I read on Facebook, if 13 councillors, you want to save money, 13 councillors resigned instead of getting elected because after the May you don't have a remit, you would save £91,000. So, you know, let's see the Labour keeper. And another question, why are we having 3 councillors for Alphington? And the other wards, why do we need so many councillors? I've got 1 Devon councillor for Alphington and Cowick, 1 for St Thomas and Exwick, but we need 3. All right. So same again. It's been confirmed. I think I know that Nigel Farage or Reform is going to court. Let's see what that result is. I think it's the 19th of February. But just remember this as well. To police, I can't understand, Jackie, why they have 2 protests side by side. Do you?
You should never have 2 demonstrations of opposite sides going head to head. Who's found the money for this? 1, that it's ridiculous. 2, what on earth was Phil doing there, getting involved in this? You know, he's a county councillor, he's a town councillor, city councillor. Why is he getting involved in this? We should have nothing to do with these things. It's bad form. And as for the elections, well, I'm sorry, everybody has a right to vote. Everybody has a right for democracy. These shouldn't be cancelled. And just to say, that's what Nigel Farage is going to court for. It is to fight for people to have democracy so that these elections are not cancelled. So it's for the people.
Yeah, and I understand everybody has a right to vote or right to protest, should I say. All right, but I think there was a few ugly scenes as well. I think one of the far left, because that's what I'm calling them, when the gentleman was speaking on a microphone, ran up and grabbed the mic off him. Come on, guys. Everybody has the right to protest in peace. And I still go back and say, you found the money to pay for the police, and the actual police had to then give up hours again because they've used so many hours up doing that, making sure everybody's secured, which sacrifice hours for them to go around the city to make it safe. So all I'm saying is, Labour, you've hung your flag to that flagpole, right? You won't change my mind, socialists. You're bloody socialists. And I'll tell you something else as well. You can squeeze as many people into a room as you can, but in the end, people will fall out the windows, all right? And just remember what I just said. Okay. We're going to move on to the next subject. We're going to bring Chris in now. Chris, you're going to talk about yourself. If you just introduce yourself a bit.
Awesome. So, yeah, I'm Chris. I run a community hub in Newton Abbot, which does all sorts of work with the local community, helping where we can. So what we are doing now is we've launched OpCutch, which is an armed forces hub in Newton Abbot for veterans, serving personnel, families, anybody that needs it really. Cwtch, if
So
you
we're
don't
here-
know, it's a Welsh word. It means like hug and safe space, which sort of like embodies what we're trying to do for people and provide. So it's it's really good what we've got lined up.
And it's very much needed for not only for the veterans. You're providing for their families to be able to reach out and get help as well, which is really important, because often the families of servicemen and women get forgotten, and they're going through an awful lot as well, and they've been through an awful lot during the time of somebody's service. So that's really great that you're opening it up to family as well.
Yeah, just what made you... I must also state, Chris is neutral, so he's not any political party, and I say that to anybody who comes onto this show. He is totally neutral, and he's really kind of you to come on, Chris. I thought I should have brought that up. So sorry about that. But what made you come up with this? Because, you know, to me, it's incredible. As a veteran myself, and being saying that, they've just raised the callback age to 65. There's a good video going around. I wish I put it on, actually. So what made you come up with that?
It's all stemmed really from the people that we've been working with in Newton Abbot and the surrounding areas. I mean, my brother was in the forces as well, and I think something like this when he left would have been very helpful for him. And one of our directors is also an ex-Royal Marine, Richard, and he has been through a whole load of stuff that really, if there'd been things in place or local at the time, it would have helped him a lot quicker get to where he needed to be.
Let's pull you back a bit, okay? Let's pull you back. So how long has this been actually running, Chris?
So we started looking into what was needed probably back in September, and sort of pulling things together and seeing what was around. So there's a hub in Exeter, up near Lympstone, the Gordon Messenger Centre, and there's a place down in Plymouth as well. But that whole middle area, Teignbridge, Torbay, and across, there's nothing really. And if you're struggling or don't have a car or can't get on transport, it's a big ask to say to somebody that's living in Newton Abbot, can you get down to Plymouth for some help?
Jacqueline, you were a soldier as well, and you mentioned before the show, we don't actually discuss too much before the show because we want the conversation to flow. But Jacqueline, you were mentioning that when you left the services, you were homeless?
Yeah, so I came out of the services and I was lucky to get employment, and then circumstances, I ended up homeless. Now, I, at the time, had a young son that needed to go to school, and there was no help out there for me. I really wish there was something like what Chris is setting up to help me. I lived in a tent. We played the game with my son that we were just on a wonderful holiday, although he couldn't understand why he had to go to school. And I still went to work. And we lived in a tent close to Bovey Tracy. And I went to work until I'd got enough money to raise for a deposit to rent a property. There was no help out there for me. There was no guidance, and that being, I was ex-services, I was a single mum, my marriage broke down before I joined the army. We'll be able to help.
We know that there's around 16,000 veterans just in Teignbridge and Torbay alone.
How many?
16,000.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. They may not all need, immediate help, but some of the things that we're going to be running there can help in different ways that aren't just in a crisis. So we've got there's a lot of veterans that want to get involved with us. We've got counsellors on board that will be able to provide free sessions for people. We've got good links now with other charities, mental health charities, and charities that are doing things socially for veterans that we can signpost onto and people can get involved in, which is going to be really great to see that. And then because of the way our hub is set up at the moment, we have a community cafe in there as well, so we can get people in for those social aspects as well, whilst we fundraise and secure a dedicated armed forces building.
Yeah. So at the moment you're running Op Cwtch from the Cwtch hub,
Yep.
but you're looking to get some help to get a building. You've got a building hopefully in mind, but it is just raising funds to get that building so that you can grow the Operation Cwtch and be able to help more veterans and their families.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So what you've got a building that exists now. So how many people can you accommodate in that?
We can probably get up to 50 people in there, which
Oh, okay. And that what you're trying to say is you have a place where you can. It's a safe zone.
yeah.
And you said 16,000 ex-service people, men and women, living in around your area.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realise there was that many people. And I know they don't all need help. And a lot of people, being ex-service myself, I'm quite lucky. I've seen some really, really bad things in my time, but I've had really, really good support in the background. My future son-in-law sadly went to a soldier's funeral on Tuesday, and he committed suicide. So we're looking at your place now. What you say, there's other people, founders and organisers who help you. What other people actually help you, Chris?
So on our team, the Cwtch Hub Op Cwtch, there's 3 directors. There's me, Richard, who's our ex-Royal Marine, and then a lady called Amanda, who's living in Newton Abbot as well, and really just wants to help with the community and get involved and really support people how we can. We've had a lot of offers from veterans that want to get involved and want to support us and help and can be that almost like a mentor for people that are struggling, and be that point of contact as well, and just to build the social side of stuff up. And then we've built some really good connections so far with other forces charities and things like that we can signpost onto.
And Jacqueline, as a local councillor, are you actually involved in this?
I've actually helped Chris towards with my locality budget, and I'd like to ask if there's any other councillors out there that still have any locality budget. This is a charity that is overlooked in many ways by our councils, etc. So if they can spare a few pounds just to help this charity on its way, we could save some lives here. So I think it's really, really important.
Chris, carry on with that. He's looking at the camera. If
Yeah.
if I've got a blinking camera, we've got Jess in the background trying to sort it out. So just bear with the blinking camera. So on that, Chris, what actually? I know this might be a bit of a bone question. What do the veterans actually need? I mean, out of 16,000 people, they're not. Do they need just support other soldiers? They need just to chat, to mental health, or help with where they live. I mean, how do you log and work out what these people need? Because I know there's a lot of homelessness, all right, in the veteran side of it. Because member soldiers, they're in a controlled environment, so they get fed, they're housed, and then they decide to leave. Well, it's quite a shock to the system when I joined the army, a boy soldier at 16. Coming into civilian life is quite hard, and it is a culture shock. So, Chris, what do you need to do to help these?
You're right. There's so many different issues for people. One thing we've seen quite a bit of is people that have fairly recently left service and their family, they've had a whole complete family breakdown. They used to be in barracks and all that support is in place and it's very structured life and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what's happened? And so there's that where we can just provide some support, some counselling, some signposting, like you said, homelessness as well. We're actually, it's not that bad in Teambridge. We're really lucky actually in Teambridge that homelessness isn't as bad as it is, especially Exeter and Torbay. But it does have its issues, and we are there to provide that safe, warm space. People can come in, they can get a meal. We've got access to washing machines, showers and stuff, so they can clean their stuff.
Do they have
dry
like
their
internet
stuff.
connect? You have internet
Yeah,
connections?
we've got free Wi-Fi in there, so they can connect that way.
And do you link people up with other soldiers or
Yeah,
other
so-
veterans?
so what we-
There's not just soldiers. There's the Navy. You've got the Air Force. So it's, I'm just one blinded because I was a soldier. But do you mix with all different?
Yeah, so it's
Of all
open for all
services.
forces, all services.
I bet you meet some characters.
Yeah, we do. We certainly do.
I think
Jacqueline, have you been in and met some characters?
yes, I have, and I've personally met Richard, and what a lovely guy he is. And I think the most important thing is that we've got to remember that when we come out of the services, we're used to being part of a team. We're used to having people around us, and we come out, and all of a sudden, it's a very, very lonely world. And just that support network. And I don't know, I'm not saying that we're any different or any better or any worse than anybody else that hasn't served, but forces people understand forces people, and maybe there's a different way of communicating. I don't know, but a lot of the forces have seen stuff that nobody should really have to see. So it's easier for somebody that's seen that to talk to somebody else that understands totally by having seen it themselves.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I like telling stories. My grandkids love the stories, and it's not all military stories, just stories of my life, because I can associate everything with a story. What do they say? Pull the soundbar up, flash the old lantern, and just start waffling. Chris, you must have heard some good stories.
Yeah, I certainly get some good stories between my brother and Richard. Richard's always telling us stories, and he actually has a really important story to tell as well, because when he first came to us, he was in need, and we helped him through there, which was a big part of the reason for wanting to then have this dedicated space that we can help people that are leaving, and. Yeah, it's good, and he's always a good laugh. So.
Yeah, not everybody leaves because, through their own choice. Some people leave because they're medically discharged. So you've got medical reasons as well to have to take into consideration. So some people, it's not just they might not be mentally damaged, they might be physically damaged. So there's an awful lot involved.
Just about the military system, which I think is really, really good. So the way I look at it is like a conveyor belt. So you joined at a certain age, you sit on that conveyor belt, and then you go through, you're a trooper, then you become a lance corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, WO2, W1, and then you can be offered a commission. But at the end of it, you've got to come off that conveyor belt. The reason you come off the conveyor belt is because if you stayed on that conveyor belt, there'd be no room for the people at the beginning of the conveyor belt. If you understand that, Jacqueline?
Yeah.
So you get on that, and then the lance corporal, the trooper gets promoted, and you just go along all the ranks. If you haven't been promoted over a certain time, we could mention some individuals who 15, 16 years never made a rank. The army will, or used to, actually get rid of you. Right, you do have to pass your fitness test, but at the end of the day, if a soldier or a serviceman has dedicated their lives to this country, he will come off that conveyor belt the out. And it is a shock to some people, Jacqueline. How long were you in, Jacqueline?
Well, it's a sad story. I was army barmy since the age of 8. I grew up with 4 brothers, so I was a bit of a tomboy. As much as I now wear pink, I was very much a tomboy, and I joined the army, signed up for 22 years, totally, absolutely loved it. Had an injury, so I only lasted 2 years, and I was kicked out. I got exemplary medical discharge, but then I didn't know where my life was going. So, yeah, I had tunnel visioned, hadn't got a plan B. Plan A was join the military, 22 years, doing something I loved, doing something that I felt was of value to my country, who I was very, very proud to be part of.
So, Chris, community support. All right, that's a big question. Community support, because you established this place. You need. How many helpers have you got?
So we got 3 directors, and then a handful of volunteers at the moment.
Yeah, but do the directors do the work as well, or they're just directors?
Yeah,
good.
They do the work,
good.
and it's all it's voluntary as well at the moment. So hopefully we can access some funding to give the directors some financial backing in the future.
Right, so this is part of the show as well. If anybody wants to support or fund this project, get in touch with either Chris or Jacqueline or myself, and we'll put you forward. I know people's tight with money right now, but these people, and it doesn't matter whether it's your hub or anywhere in this country, they've dedicated their life to support this country. I'm not saying. Well, we'll go back to the raise the age in a minute to 65, Chris. But what about? So what I'm saying now. What about democracy? Not democracy. What about bureaucracy? Do you have any major hurdles you have to overcome?
Yes, I think it's the getting everything into one place and the signposting. There is support out there, but unless you know where to look, people aren't particularly forthcoming. We dealt with the local council in a couple of cases, and you sort of get pushed from person to person, and there's no clear answers. And then a week later, you find out actually you could have spoke to that person the whole time. And that's a big part of what we're trying to achieve with this hub, is that people can come in needing help with housing, and we can give them the exact advice they need and the numbers to call, or we can do that on their behalf. But also we have the information there and the experience that we can then help them with anything else they need at the time, even if that's saying, right, just go and grab a coffee with John, because he's going through something similar, and that's what we're really just trying to get together.
Yeah. Do you have many people who need help with mental issues?
We have had people in, and there is actually some really good help out there. There's a good charity called the Warrior Programme, and they have a 24-hour helpline that you can ring if you need mental health support, and they do a lot of support on that side. And there's also something called Op Courage, which is an NHS programme that also helps with mental health support.
So people come into you from NHS and support you. That's what I'm saying. Because have you heard of TRIM, trauma risk management? Yeah. So I done the management course, and that was a good. And what the TRIM was my regiment were very bad at looking after aftercare. So we go out and do the jobs, blah blah blah, come back, and everybody went away. But what they do now, or they did, and they still do, is you get everybody into a room. You all have a chat. You've got trim managers who are trained, then it gives a chance to whittle them down, and normally you can find an individual or group of people who wants to have a chat with you. They're not qualified mental health at all, but they can signpost them and move them up the chain in order to help. And if anybody wants to do a trim, that you go online, it's a really good course. And mental health first aid. I had a big issue when I was young about mental health. Not myself, but I couldn't understand people who have mental health. I've done so much research on it now, and it's not like a code. You can't see it or hear it, but I understand how it affects everybody. Chris, you must come across this all the time.
Yeah, we do. And that it isn't just exclusive to veterans either. We have people that come in the hub just in, general public that are suffering. And it is unique to every person what they go through in that, and the support that they need is so varied. So it can be really hard actually at times to see that, but when we get to a point where things are improving, it's that that good feeling inside that we've really helped somebody, and they can go on, and a lot of people actually then want to come back and volunteer or help out in a different way because they've experienced that, which is great.
I would love to come down. Just you know, I don't want to take it away from Jackie because Jackie's all over this. This is her baby. Jacqueline, tell me more. What would you want to see happen now?
Do you know what? What I would really love to see is for somebody to have, even maybe Teambridge Council, you've got lots of empty places there in Newton Abbot. Come on, give this project a base. You know, there's, what can I say? This is such an amazing, amazing cause. Let's help this cause along and get veterans help. Give Chris a place that's empty just for, 3-5 years. Let's see where we can take this.
So are you getting charged rent where you are now? And is it large rent? And obviously you want to make the place bigger in order to accommodate more people, but to give more facilities. I presume that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah. So our current hub it's over £1,000 a month where we are, which isn't huge in the grand scheme of things, but it's still money that we need to find every month. What we wanted to do was launch Opcuch in a dedicated building from the start, but the building that we had our eye on, we waited and it fell through in the end. So we've had to go back to stage one, but we didn't want to not have this running and that support there. So we're doing it all in the same building for now, but obviously our vision is to have it in a different building where people can come in, services and access that exclusively, an exclusive armed forces hub, essentially, because we do recognise that there are some challenges and issues that will be exclusive to the armed forces community that need to be separate from the general public.
Yeah, what I'm surprised is when you said there was 16,000 in your area. So just think how many is in this country who are ex-veterans, or sort of veterans, so to say, ex-servicemen who, I actually supported the Devon and Dorset's, and Councillor Tony Stevens did as well. We did the poppy ceremony, Higher Cemetery. That was amazing, where we had the school kids come along. And these veterans are very proud. They walk along with their colours, and we also went for their Christmas meal. And I can't take all the credit. A lot of the councillors in Exeter, and I'm talking about, it doesn't matter which parties they are, we all came together and we donated some. So if we can find that, so we'll come on to how we can help them later on. But so you have about, how many come through a day? About 100, 200?
No, not in a day, no. Not that many people. It can vary. It's so unpredictable.
So the things you actually do at the Cutch Hub that are kind of, in a way, supporting this Operation Cutch, you do meals, pay what you feel.
Yep. Yes.
So, you've got a cafe there, you provide meals, and then people can say, well, this is how much I've got, this is how much I can afford, rather than going into a restaurant and paying full price. You've got art, you do writing sessions. Tell us a bit more. What else do you do?
So our whole thing with the Cutch Hub was food, art and community. So we do we've got a community fridge there. We work with the local food banks to provide emergency food parcels and referrals to them. We do free soup and pastries all day, every day. The community meal is once a month that anyone can just drop in, pay what they want, and it's a full-on big cooked meal. It can be anything from a roast dinner to anything, a curry. It doesn't really matter. We have desserts. We get people to try and bring desserts in as well. So you've got that sharing aspect going on. We run a load of workshops in there, art and crafts, crochet, knitting, creative writing. We have evenings of poetry, spoken word. We have bands in, and it's free for everybody. We don't charge anyone for any of the workshops. We either people volunteer their time to facilitate them, or we cover the cost from the money that we make in the cafe, essentially, and that's how we carry on. Is so if you are in Newton Abbot and you want a nice coffee, come to the Cutch Hub, and you'll be supporting all these things that we have going on there.
And you've got a piano as well, haven't
We
you?
do. We have a community piano.
You don't tell me you play the piano, Jacqueline.
No,
Yeah.
not me. I play saxophone.
No, I'm going to take you up on that. I'm going to come down. It's similar to the chatterbox in Alfreton. I go there. If I could replicate the chatterbox and replicate you. What about in Exeter? Is there any... You did mention there's some place in Exeter. And I'm not trying to take it away from your area, but do you communicate together and do you work out the best practice?
So we've had initial chats with there's a hub in Southern Hay, the Armed Forces hub for Exeter, and they work closely with the Gordon Messenger Centre, which is up by the barracks. So yeah, we're meeting up with them very soon as well, just to see how we can work together more and refer and stuff, which will be great. Obviously, they've been established a long time, and we're not trying to take away anything that they do. We've just recognised that there is a need in our area that can't always be accessed by everybody getting to Exeter or to Plymouth. So,
What about the lottery? I mean, I don't know anything about the lottery. Have you tried getting any money from the lottery to support this really, really good cause?
we currently have an application in for our hub, the Cutch Hub, and you can't have two things in at once. So we need to wait and find out if we've been successful or not before we can put the next thing in, basically. But I'm hoping they'll see that it's a really good cause and they'll support it.
I'm still amazed, a young man like yourself, Chris, who I know you said you want in the military, but that's not taking... For you to do this to help the veterans, you know, I take my hat off to you. If we could replicate more people like you to support this, fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a lot easier to get things happening as well, wouldn't it?
I can see your passion, Chris, and I think it's admirable. And obviously, Neil and myself are very passionate about helping veterans and their families. As I say, let's not forget the families. They've been through hell and back as well, along with the serving, you know, when they've been serving. So, yeah, please, anyone that's listening, spread the word. As I say, if you own a property locally that's empty and you don't know what to do with it, have a word with Chris. He will be able to, you know, give a good reason for that property to be there and be able to help so many people at the same time.
But what we're really looking at is big players. What I mean that people who can afford to rent their property with peppercorn rent, I think they call it. We're after something around here, not for that, for somebody who does with the food. But if anybody in that area has got somewhere where they can support Chris. And Chris, how else can people help you?
So volunteering is a great one. If you've got experience in dealing with any of this and you have some time that you can give, even if you just want to come in and make some coffees for people, whatever that is the most valuable thing for us is people's time, because that is the hardest thing to get, really. If you don't have time but you have money, that would be even, just as good. We've got a crowdfunder running at the moment. There's a link on our website and our Facebook page for that, and we're just trying to crowdfund.
So what is your Facebook page?
It's OpCutch. We've got a dedicated page, or we've also got the website is www.opcutch.co.uk. Cutch is CWTCH, Welsh word. But also we're just about to launch on our website this. It's a challenge that we're doing, a walk-in challenge or distant challenge. So we've put 5 routes together that you can do in the local area, and that's one of them. The longest one is from Haytor down to Teignmouth, and I think that was 27 kilometres. But there's 5 stages. We're hand-making wooden medals. So every time you complete a stage, you can send in your form to us that you've completed that stage, and we'll send you out a medal. And then when you've done all 5, you'll get it's like a wooden shield as well that they all slot into at the end, which is great. And that's just £10 to join up. So that £10, part of that will obviously go towards the making of the medals, which is, I think it costs us about £1.80 for the 5 medals and the shield. And then the rest of that goes straight into the bank account towards Opcuch and what we're trying to do. So
Brilliant.
what's your future plans? I mean, I know you want to know, what is your expectation? What do you want to end up at the end?
So first off, this dedicated building, that's really amazing what we want, and that is really the sort of immediate next step. And we want that long term. We want to still be there helping people in 20, 30 years, because no doubt we'll need it, especially with the way the world's going right now. But also our long-term future plan is to get some flats or a HMO that we can help veterans that are coming in for, they're just leaving, they're on the street, whatever that is, short term, and we can give them volunteering or work experience in the hub, or through one of the partners that we work with, and then that short-term housing so they can get themselves back on their feet and get out there again, because that's
Brilliant.
whilst there is support out there for that, there's a black hole that people can fall into, and they cannot be helped by the councils and stuff, and something needs to be in place for that, really.
And Jacqueline, what's your plan to support this?
Well, I'm happy to support Chris all the way with this. As I say, I have supported with my locality budget this year.
Yep.
And so long as it doesn't mean, because I've got disabilities myself, so unfortunately I can't walk from Haytor to Teignmouth, but I'm more than happy to do other sponsored things to raise funds, and I pop in occasionally, so I'm more than happy to make some tea and talk to people. I often go there and run a surgery, although I haven't been running the surgery there for since before Christmas. I'm always around to help, and if Chris needs me, he knows all he's got to do is pick up the phone if I haven't been in for a coffee beforehand.
I'm going to come off subject just for a minute. I've got to say a shout out to my brother, Councillor Stevens in Egypt. I hope you're enjoying yourself over there, and you've got a lot of work to come back to. Also to Pete in Andorra. Thank you, Pete. I think, Pete, you're going to come on the show when you get back. We've just got to confirm a date. I also got Gary, Gilly, Shauna, Joshua, and I really, really appreciate you watching. Remember why we're here. We're here to talk about local issues, local businesses, and what's happening in the community. Yes, we do jump out the box. We do talk a bit of politics, and I will talk a bit of politics in a minute because I love it. All right, but I try and keep it neutral. And I said, Chris, you are neutral, and we make that to every guest. I don't know what you're laughing at, Jacqueline.
I was just thinking, it's a good opportunity for businesses in the area that if they want to come along, and be on your podcast, to get in touch with you and let's have a chat and see what's going on. Let's help people. Let's support people, and that's what we got elected to do.
No, that's good. And, it'd be interesting to see if this actually does help people. And, I know people watch it later on. I know, feedback will be good. We've cut the clapping out. Rob's on holiday, so no clapping. I'm learning the controls. We're trying to make the studio a little bit bigger because we do feel a little bit squat. What I want to discuss now is the age for if there was a bad move in the world, and I don't want to say a third world war, but we have to mobilise soldiers. They've raised the limit to 65. Jacqueline, what's your view on that?
Well, if they want me, they better come and get me in my wheelchair. I've always been... I love my country so much, and I just want to get back to it being Great Britain. If they want me, come and get me, send me the train ticket. But I'm not very good because I'm quite old now, so, I'm a bit disabled. But yeah, I'd go.
And what about you, Chris? How old are you, young man?
How old?
Yeah.
35 I am, but I wouldn't like to think in 30 years' time that I'd want to be going off to a war. And from some of the people that come into us at the hub, I don't think they'd want to be going off now in their older age.
No, it's quite interesting because what I've read, and this is what I read, and somebody might correct me, so they're raising the callback to 65. Well, I'm only 60. Come back to that in a minute. They're also saying if you refuse to soldier, you could go to jail, which I don't think would ever happen. You could be fined a certain amount of money, or they could put 3% on your, or taxes on your pay. Well, there's one thing I will say. I will never fight for this government. All right. When I went away, it was for my queen, and I would only do it for my king. And I like to think most servicemen in this country would only fight for their king, all right, not for these people in these positions right now. And the whole world's changing, Chris. You know, I was surprised at Trump, what he's saying. You know, the whole dynamics is worrying. It's worrying for my children, and I came into politics to support my children. Forget about all the crap going on in this country, all right, and all these lefties and all these protests and squeezing all these other people who've not... Oh, that's another question. Jacqueline, I'm going to say this to you. So look at this. We all get mobilised. We all go abroad, and we all fight for the government, all right? What's all the refugees doing back here?
Yeah.
What's all these... Whatever you want to describe them.
Yeah.
Right,
Well,
what are they going to be doing? All right, because they ain't going to be fighting for this country, are they? Jacqueline, what's your thought on that?
no, and I totally agree with you. I wouldn't be happy to fight for this current government. I got into politics to fight for my country and to fight and be the voice for local people. If they make everybody, you know, conscription, send reservists back into war, who will be left? Well, we all know the answer to that, because we all know that majority of people would not be fighting for this country. Then how safe would our women and children be? Because there's nobody here to look after them. That's a whole nother podcast.
I know we're jumping out the box. Chris, I apologise for jumping out the box. But when I go on a rant, so I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning and I think about... Right, I get mobilised, yeah, and sadly, I've got a very, very beautiful wife. She loves me to bits. But if I got mobilised, would I go? Yes, for the king, but not for the government. She's looking at me like, hang on a minute, you married me, not the country. But I've defended this country 3 times, and I've always defended that flag, all right? And I know people associate the flag with far right, which is wrong, all right? The flag is there. I love it. Going down Bridge Road, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about what my party says, right? I think that flag puts a smile on my face, and patriot. I am a patriot of this country. Jacqueline, I know you've got in hot water about it before. You tell us about the interview on the radio.
Oh well, yeah. I ended up on the news, on local news outside County Hall. Discussing how I felt about the flags. Nobody wants anybody to get hurt putting these flags up. But like you, I'm a patriot, and like millions of other people in this country, we love our flag. We've fought for our flag, and would continue to do so. Yeah, I've got in hot water.
Yeah, but it's only a flag, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. It's a flag, but it's what behind that flag.
No, it's not just a flag. This is like somebody coming up to you and going, oh, it's just a dog, when you're a dog lover. It's not just a flag, and it's not just a dog.
Chris, you must think we're mad about the flag and patriot. I want your opinion now, Chris, because I might need help, actually. I might need some trauma risk management.
You're welcome to come in anytime you want some help. We'll even get you a coffee.
No, but what I'm trying to say is you stay out of politics, and I understand that. But let's just go back to the veterans you actually meet. And some of them may be still serving, I don't know. I would personally say, and we are bringing a bit of politics there, I would say most of them veterans want reform in this country. I don't think I've ever met a serviceman who would actually stand by socialism and left-wing government. All right, and I I just want to know your feedback. Does anybody talk politics there? Because my wife's fed up with politics with me. All right. When we go to bed, I take my laptop to bed, but we have certain rules. At a certain time, it's got to go off. Right. I've got to give her a kiss and I've got to give her a cuddle.
Yeah,
and I
that's
tell her I love her every day.
There is lots of politics talked with our veteran community. And I would say that they definitely echo your views on that. They would definitely not go and fight for this government.
Yeah, and remember what I said, Chris is neutral, so I'm still asking him. So you said there's a lot of politics. Give me a little bit more juicy stuff on it.
There's not that much juicy stuff, but it is very much echoing that this government are getting it wrong. And I mean, I think everybody can see that right now, if I'm honest. I don't think anyone we've spoke to is happy about the age being put up and things like that. So,
well, I like to do it because I used to really enjoy being a soldier. But Chris, what now? Okay. So, without bringing politics in there, what's your opinion now of how these soldiers can be helped now? So we're just going to lighten up now. So you want people to get a hold of you. You want somebody to see if they can, I know it's a big ask to give some form of property. What else can we just push that message out a bit more?
Yeah, I think sharing our Facebook page, inviting your friends list and contacts to it so that more people see what we're doing, sharing the crowdfunder and just getting in touch if you can volunteer. I think they're the three main things that would really help us right now. But if you've got any connections as well with other charities or organisations or people that want to get involved that are, trying to do similar stuff, then, we're all about community. We're not trying to take away or step on toes on what's already happening. We want to support them as well by signposting to them. So the more people that know we're around and the more organisations we know of, the more we can do that. And it's all about connecting all the dots and building one big community so that people don't have to suffer and can get all that information and access to that in one place and when they need it.
I'd just like to say that if anybody out there loves a challenge, loves doing fundraising, get in touch. Let's do a fundraiser. Let's raise some money for this. It's just such an amazing thing to do. So if you want to get involved, come on, give us a shout and let's do some sort of fundraising.
Can I ask you one question,
Yeah.
Chris? What's your view on the cancellation of the elections this May?
I think that it is going to set a very dangerous precedent for the future, to be honest. It's not... Democracy needs to remain democracy. You can't do that and expect people to be happy about it. However you vote, it shouldn't be cancelled because, otherwise Trump will see that and think, oh, wicked, I can cancel American elections and be supreme world leader and all these sort of things that are going to happen.
All these crazy things.
And I just think that if you start taking things like that away from people, we're heading down a very dangerous path.
Okay, Chris, I really, really thank you for coming on this podcast tonight. And I can't say enough about what you're doing for the veterans, and not necessarily all veterans. As he said, anybody can come into this hub. And that means a lot to me, and I will definitely come down and see that. What I'm going to say now, let's just reflect. So we've talked about the I've just been told there's 2 minutes. She's actually wrong. It's 45 seconds. So my wife's in the background sticking the fingers up to me. All right. Not that way. All right. So I'm inviting anybody else who wants to come on to the podcast. We've got 3 or 4 people booked up in the next few weeks. But if you want to come on, I don't care which party you are. I don't care who you support. If you want to go neutral, we talk about neutral. Right. But if you want to come, somebody wrote to me on Facebook. I think I lost it, but he didn't give me much about himself. He just said, I want to come on your pod. So get onto, if you want to do it, go through whatever means, my email address, my Facebook address, whatever system. It's so many systems, I lose track on it. right? But really, really appreciate that. The other thing is, I'm looking at that. Time to go now. Remember the dog, the poison in the park. But all I can say, Jacqueline, I really appreciate you coming on.
It's been lovely to be here. Thanks, Neil.
Chris, once again, I don't think I've done that bad with the buttons, but thank you for coming on as well.
No, awesome. Thanks for having us.
And look forward to next Thursday, same time, and we hopefully have Councillor Tony back and Nat.